Your office is, rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
Is this cell like... Is this cell...
I would...
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient, am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, cluck up. Are you very busy?
I am.
Are you very busy?
I am.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end. I have a hard time bearing their proximity. My blood boils and my heart bangs. It's the primordial fear, they say. I have a...
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the Predatory Division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes, why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine. So, what do you want to know?
Let's see. Let's see. How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
How long was What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance. Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details. When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him?
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that?
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it. Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting?
From the first moment he loved it. He was fascinated by it. But who could blame him? A little diversity, fresh air, a beautiful lady, and of course, on top of all that, he could finally do what he loved best: paint.
Which could be a surprisingly effective therapy.
It could have been. Unfortunately, these excursions have greatly intensified his seizures. They have become more frequent and extreme.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous?
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But it's...
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And
what happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused. Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland, but even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off, and his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree. Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
But why would he do that?
Maybe Albert saw something he could accidentally reveal.
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome, Detective.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you. That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Well, that's, surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here. I can almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
A small window. A small hope. A small...
No way! Is this some kind of puzzle?
I don't think so. But we could still find something important here. A pattern, a sign, anything. Scribbles, newspaper articles, study papers, poems, perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss. Isn't this familiar, Sonny? Just like your office and your desk. Taking a better look around, I can find even more similarities.
Marty.
Okay. Shut up, Marty.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. 2 men and 1 woman. Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please, stitch up your beak, okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Look at that. A letter. The style. It's very familiar to me.
You've been lonely for far too long, huh?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little. So this is an original Albert Wessler.
I think so. It's pretty good, I must say. And I saw something very similar in Natasha's room.
You kept me out of it.
Sorry, little boy. Maybe next time.
Whew.
Okay, Marty,
Whew.
Okay.
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always. Well, I guess the bed has to find a new owner soon.
Are you really so sure he's not alive anymore?
I never said that. Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that. Albert was... What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty.
What do you mean?
Everything will be revealed.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what now? Where to?
Back to Clawville, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
You're driving me crazy. But all right, let's go home.
What can you tell us about the woman in the photo we saw in Albert's room?
Do you mean Miss Natasha Katsenko? Well, yes. I don't know much about her, but everyone heard her name and her voice around here.
Did she ever visit this place?
Never. But if you ask me, Natasha probably didn't even know Albert was a resident of our institution.
And Albert, did he mention her often?
Constantly. It was obvious he had an affection for Miss Katsenko, but I wouldn't have thought for a moment he could escape because of her.
I wouldn't jump ahead, Doctor. Something else could be behind Albert's disappearance.
Do you think so? All the signs clearly indicate this.
Maybe they do, Doctor, but in my line of work, logic's not always the best advisor.
In 99% of cases.
Exactly. But this one typically belongs to the remaining 1%.
If you say so.
Tell me, Doctor.
Farewell, Miranda, dear. Lovely to meet you.
So, you'll remember my name?
Marty McChicken never forgets, ma'am.
Oh,
Furry gods. Let's go. Goodbye, miss. It was a pleasure.
goodbye, gentlemen, and happy investigating.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
If there's anything I can help you with, please just ask.
Thank you, Miranda. You've already helped enough.
What do you think?
Huh. Oh, I don't believe this. Those two again?
Take them out. My car won't last much longer.
Don't worry, Sonny. I was born to do this.
Concentrate, Marty, for the God's sake.
Can you drive like you're not a fucking lunatic?
Shut up and shoot, you big feather pillow. Are you blind or what? When did you learn to shoot?
Well, that was close.
A little too close for my taste, and it only strengthens my belief. Wessler is desperate. He knows if we survive, he's done for.
Well, come on, what did you work out? Will you tell me already?
Sure. Let's put the picture together, piece by piece. Let's start from the beginning. So, we got a case. Natasha tried to show us the painting. And that painting would have shown us the way. To Ibn and Albert Wessler. Albert painted Natasha, so he met her on more than one occasion. In love with Natasha, and on a fateful night, he killed his brother so he could take his place in secret and win Natasha's heart.
So what happens now?
The inevitable, Marty. We're going to the Wessler mansion to confront Ibn with the facts.
You mean Albert, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Natasha.
Do you think she knew about it?
Something stinks, Marty. The whole case seems too intricate.
Too many coincidences, right?
Well, well, after 10 years, you did learn something, didn't you?
9.
You're right.
Huh.
What?
You just laughed, Sonny.
What? No,
No, you laughed.
just leave it, Marty.
I'll be telling this to my grandchicks.
All right, pal, that's enough.
Okay. So, Albert fell madly in love with Natasha and decided to have her for himself.
And his best chance was to trade places with Ibn Wessler.
So that's why the torn-out tongue.
Yeah, Ibn couldn't squeal even if he wanted to.
What a diabolical plan.
More like insane.
But why the messages then? Why the threats? Albert got what he wanted. He could have got away with it.
I'm not a psychologist, Marty, but remember what the doctor told us. Albert has a seriously injured mind and a split personality. I think his two identities were at war with each other.
So the messages were written by one of his personalities.
Something like that, Marty. But we can only learn the whole truth.
You're right. So, are we going?
We're going, Marty, to finally finish what we stopped.
Well, if there's anything you'd like to do before, do it now, boss. You won't have a chance later.
You're right, Marty. It's time to wrap everything up.
Louis became kind of part of the team in the end, didn't he?
You mean Leopold?
God damn it. Did I mess that up again?
No, I'm just joking. You said it right this time.
Huh. You know, if...
We can't deny that, even if...
You know, if it weren't for the bunny...
We can't deny that. Hey, Louis. You weren't awake all night because of us, were you?
I've never been this excited, Sonny. Seriously, it is a great honor to be part of the team. What is it?
You, Louis, you don't stutter anymore.
What?
Just now, you didn't stutter. Not even a little.
Oh, I must be exhausted. It happens sometimes.
And it's back.
So, thanks again, Louis. You always get us out of trouble.
Come on, boys. Don't even mention it. It is me who is grateful to be a part of an adventure of the chick.
Maybe the last one.
Hey, Sonny. Don't spoil his mood. He's so cute.
Pardon?
Nothing. Nothing.
So, you're going now to confront Mr. Whistler?
We have no other choice, Louis. We're gonna see it through to the end. We've already come this far.
You're brave, gentlemen. I'm honestly impressed.
Well, the rabbit's onto something.
This isn't about money. Not about courage or pride either. It's simply...
Stubbornness?
Mostly, yeah.
Well, good.
Thanks, Louis. We could use some luck, that...
Well,
Thanks, Louis.
This fog's almost impenetrable.
Strange, but somehow this time I feel it's a good omen.
Really? How?
I don't know. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel without the light.
Oh, you're not getting ready to die, are you, old man? If we're going on a suicide mission, I think I should know.
Why, haven't I told you?
You're not funny.
The city seems almost clean this time. Silent, mute, not of this world.
Good gods. You're really getting ready to die, aren't you?
I'm just messing with you, Marty. Relax.
Yeah, thanks. Very... Into the unknown, right?
Like you say, partner.
I see we're ready.
You'll need a shotgun for this kind of deal, Marty. Maybe even that won't be enough.
Nothing to fear while Bertha's here. Even less because you're here too with Miss...
Should I
That would be nice for a change.
well.
Thanks, Louis. It hurt. I hope he'll be okay this time. Because if he gets hurt... Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Look, Sonny, I think if we go now, there's no turning back. Not today, at least. So, are you ready?
I'm still thinking about it, Marty.
Look, Sonny, I think if we go now, there's no turning back.
I'm still thinking about it, Marty.
I just realized, Ibn at the Czar.
Yes, Marty. Albert's been Ibn for a long time now. Do you remember what Natasha said about him?
That he's been acting strange recently.
Exactly. Like, he's not himself.
It was almost hitting us in the face.
Don't blame yourself, Marty. We couldn't have figured that out just by ourselves. The whole story's too twisted for them.
Well, it's how we make our living, Sonny. And I'm sure we'll have plenty more twisted cases to come.
Who knows, Marty? It's not up to us. It's mostly not up to us, in fact.
Yeah, right. Do you think the asylum was in on it?
You know that reptiles give me the creeps. One of them even set fire to that ship.
He seemed like a patient to me.
Yeah. Whoever fights monsters should see...
Are you still talking?
Good question.
So, what's the plan? We shove the letter and our theory in his face and see what...
Something like that, Marty. I think our presence will be enough for the truth to come out.
I really hope you're right, Boss Bird.
We have no other choice. So I hope so, too.
Do you think it's a love triangle? I mean, could Natasha love Albert as well?
Good question, Marty. But I don't think so. When I first spoke to Natasha, she told me she loved Ibn in her own way.
In her own way, huh? And could she love too?
Maybe. Maybe she even suspected the truth.
So, what do you think, now that it's...
I don't know, Marty, but I believe Natasha didn't mean to be bad. Not intentionally.
I'm not as sure if that as you are, boss. But we'll find that out.
I think Natasha was very much aware that wherever she goes, disaster follows her. But it's not her fault. And
Really? You don't say. Someone remarkably similar came to mind right now.
you mean me, right?
Who can even read my...
Maybe you're right, Marty. Maybe you're...
Okay, so...
Thanks, partner. I'll do...
Okay.
Thanks, partner.
Well...
Thanks, Luke. Do you remember that case with...
which one?
when that demented wolf devoured...
Do I remember? I'll never forget it. Hell, that was a slaughterhouse.
This was that...
This?
Yeah, before it was closed down. When there was still some...
Yeah. Spooky.
Still, I love to...
Sonny, you're creepy. Yeesh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that. Yeesh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
I never thought I'd ever look at this place and think...
Life's weird, isn't it? I didn't think that after what I...
You mean when you shot me?
You know I had my reasons.
Yeah. Have I ever...
I don't think...
Then let's leave it there.
Hey, I apologize for shooting you, but...
That's okay, Marty. It happens even to the best of...
I'll remember what you just said, and I'll never forget.
Yeah? Well, don't try to take advantage of it.
Who, me? What do you think? Relax, soldier.
Huh?
You were staring...
Are you shitting me?
Not at all.
I have feelings too, you know.
I never said otherwise.
Farewell, my... Farewell.
Did you forget anything, Sonny?
No, I just thought I'd take a look. Might be the last time I see it.
You becoming sentimental?
Who knows? Maybe.
Oh, that's cute.
Should I say it?
I know, Sonny. I can still get out.
But you won't.
On the beak.
Thanks, pal.
Forget about it. I'd be bored to death otherwise. You know, pulling the trigger was the toughest decision.
You mean when you shot me?
Yeah.
But it wasn't hard, because you thought...
Not at all, Sonny. I knew you'd survive. I wanted it to be a permanent injury and hurt like clucking hell.
that something was gonna break?
Yeah. And that I was never gonna be the same either. With that shot, I also gunned down.
It really did hurt like...
I know.
I almost bled to death.
Almost was the goal.
And? Did you manage to forgive me since then?
Well, what hurt me wasn't what you did. I mean, of course it did, but what hurt the most was you not trusting me. That you didn't believe me.
Not until you pulled the trigger. At that moment, I knew you were right.
Yeah. All right, enough sentimental crap. We have an insane rat waiting to be put behind bars.
What?
Come on, Sonny. Even a blind bat can see it.
Oh, well. Cluck.
Yep.
You didn't have the chance to tell me what happened to you.
He left Clawville, and I haven't... But I received an unexpected letter 2 weeks ago from the Sura province. Someone dropped it off at my door.
Was it him?
He wrote the letter, that's for sure. I could smell the jungle when I opened it. But whether he was the one who delivered it, I don't know.
Have you tried to find him?
He'll find me if he wants to, Sonny. I know he's not guilty, and that's enough.
But he's still wanted in Clawville.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry for playing a part in all of this.
I know, Sonny. The past is the past.
You know, you've truly changed, Marty. You tried to hide...
Thanks, boss.
Just, don't call me boss, okay? I've also forgiven you.
I don't remember...
I'm not mad anymore.
Blow me, Sonny. You always...
Of course not. I've also forgiven you. I'm not...
Blow...
Of course not.
I'm pretty, am I? Well, if we have anything else to ask the old beaver, this is the last chance.
Hey, don't steal my style.
Just learning from the best.
Let me give you some advice. Don't.
Oh, look what I found.
Furry gods. Another chicken police story.
And one of my favorites, too. Meredith outdid herself.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, Sonny, you could read one day. They're not as bad as you...
If it's about me and you, then I want none of it, thanks.
You're still mad.
Hey, old man. Got any good advice?
I always have.
That's very...
If you carry on. Does the name Albert mean anything to you?
I know multiple Alberts, Sonny. Which one do you mean?
Albert Wessler.
I see you're in a funny mood.
I'm not joking, Mullen, but I'm surprised there's something...
And who is this Albert, anyway? Ibn Wessler's hidden son, maybe?
Even better, my friend. His secret twin brother.
Oh, you've walked into trouble there.
I was hoping you could tell me something useful about him.
I can, sonny boy. Avoid him. Avoid the whole Wessler family. Those who happen upon secrets that deep sink without a trace.
Well, I used to be a professional swimmer. Didn't you know?
No, I didn't.
I lied. What do you know about that asylum? What's it called?
Since there's only one of those around Clawville, I know which one you mean, sonny. It's an ancient mansion, easily around 100 years old for sure. Or more. But what do you want to know about it anyway?
We actually just got out of there.
That explains everything.
Seriously, what do you know about it?
The place is self-sufficient in theory, but in reality, the Crown maintains it. No one knows the exact reason why, but according to gossip, they used to keep someone in there. Someone who was either part of the royal family or just very close to the fire. But who knows? Maybe it...
Well, they say we're legends too, and we're standing right in
What can I say then? This whole city is...
This Albert, he had to paint a picture of Natasha.
Let me guess. He fell in love with her.
Yeah, classic, huh? Then he killed his brother and took his place.
Yeah, well, that's a classic too. So, you're telling me who goes by Ibn Wessler is not really Ibn Wessler?
Exactly. He's Albert, a dangerous lunatic with multiple personalities.
Lads, I guess that Miss Marble's going to write another one of those novels about this.
You mean Meredith? Oh, that's just what we need.
Once you sold your soul, it's too late to cry about it.
That's what I keep telling him.
This Do you know, Doctor?
You mean Professor Quetzalcoatlus?
You did what?
Do I not look the type to you?
No, well, I didn't mean that. I just didn't know you went to university.
I studied psychology, sonny. Only I forgot to graduate. That's when my father died.
So that's why you know the animals so well.
No, I know them well because I have a newspaper stand and I talk to hundreds of animals each day. And I listen to the everyday problems of almost all of them.
You surprise me every time, old beaver. And what do you know about him?
You're afraid he screwed you? He looks like a terribly dishonest snake, but don't let your prejudices overshadow what your wattle tells you. Quetzal's one of the kindest-hearted and most honest animals I've ever known.
That's good to know, Uncle Mullen. Or rather...
Hey, don't get cocky with me.
What do you know about the Wessler mansion, Uncle?
That if you're about to go there...
Dangerous, you mean?
Dangerous? It's a fortress, so it has giant walls, watchtowers, and of course, Wessler's hired pugs.
Yeah, sounds great.
It's a beautiful place, I must admit. At least you'll kick the bucket with mouths hanging open.
That's something.
Good attitude, my lad. Keep...
So... we're looking for more evidence?
No, I was just thinking we could take another look. You know, just in...
okay, sure.
Don't even ask, Marty.
You're really becoming sentimental.
One more word and I...
Yep, I'm gonna shut it. You don't want to go in there just like that. It's a closed crime scene.
I hope you're just messing with me, Marty.
Of course I'm messing with you. Let's get inside there and see how much the boys have messed up the place. You know, Sonny, when we entered the room and saw the girl...
Deborah.
Yeah, her body. I called you every name in the book inside my head. I just had enough, you know? I wanted to quit.
What kept you with me? Was it just...
No. I just wanted to see your downfall, boss. I wanted to be there when you met your end, get humiliated or even
Wow. Well, thanks for your honesty.
But then everything changed on the ship.
On the ship? What?
I don't know. Being tied up with you, waiting for certain death. I know I lashed out at you, but in truth, I felt there was no...
I think I do, Marty. I think...
So, I guess there's nowhere to go but
Nothing left to do but kill a rat. As the chick...
For the last time?
For the last clucking time.
Swear?
I swear.
All right. Let's hit the road. You know, Sonny, few places are as cozy as the hot dog at dawn.
You have a point.
The silence, the fog, the sunshine slowly devouring the sleeping city.
The smell.
Yeah, the Cobbler District has its own distinctive aroma, that's for sure.
Ah, it seems Zip is ready with the first batch of coffee.
That's waiting only for us, my friend. Well, he's out. He's brave indeed.
They're often the same, Marty. Hello, Zip.
You know, Sonny. They told me I could stay in there for...
Well, maybe you should have done that.
Shit, I had enough. Fuck it. You understand? When you interrogated me, you opened my eyes. I don't give a shit about him, about Wessler and his henchmen. Let him...
That's the Zip we know and...
Thanks, Marty. So, why you here?
One last coffee before the end.
Are you going to get him?
We don't have a choice, Zip. We're grabbing the rat by the tail. No screwing around. No playing it nice.
See, Ibben's really got to you.
Just Sonny. I'm like this all the time.
Yeah, that's true. And what do you expect will happen when you get...
They'll either let us in, or we'll blow open the doors and go in guns blazing.
Well, I'm not sure.
Hey, don't write us off.
I'm just getting ready for all possibility. Hey, chicken coppers.
Yeah, Zip?
Take care of your feathers for me, okay?
Will do, Zip.
Don't worry. I'll protect this smell.
All in all...
Thank you too, boy.
I'm not sure that's what we're suggesting.
One more coffee, boys?
Thanks, Zip. Maybe not.
If there is a next time.
One more coffee?
Thanks.
If there is an... It's all...
They didn't have it. It's almost... The old owl looks a bit...
Us too.
Don't do it, Marty. No matter... Except... But still... Hey, Boobo.
Hello, old man.
Is he asleep?
But his eyes are open.
Hey, what is it?
You were something.
What the hell are you doing?
Sonny wanted to say hi before he suffers an unpleasant death of lead poisoning.
Would you shut the clock up, Marty? You're not funny.
I am a little bit.
You're going to Wessler's.
Bingo. We're gonna put an end.
Ooh. Or you're stirring up.
Well, that's always a
Get yourself killed for all I care, but don't come here.
Oh, thanks for the support.
Don't mention it, you old gizzard. Can I give you...
Of course.
Take care of the old...
That's all I ever...
Can I give you...
Of course.
Take care...
Sometimes I think about... No hard feeling.
What can I say, boys? I have a big soul.
You sure do, Ursula.
Would you like a nice hot cup of tea?
No, thanks. We just came to say goodbye.
Why? You going somewhere?
No, we're just visiting a...
Sonny's gonna die.
Shut up.
So it's a case. Well,
You don't need to say that, Ursula. We deserve...
you're a good boy, Sonny. And Marty's a...
Oh, come on, Ursula, stop.
How is the old owl?
He's old.
Wait a minute. Isn't he...
He is. I mean, Reginald's never truly asleep.
Even now?
Yes.
I gotta see that.
Take care of yourself.
Will do, Auntie.
Hey, don't be saucy, young man.